Welcome back, Warriors. Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2. I'm on my way to my next destination. I was just dropping off the Great Pyrenees for with my daughter and dropping her off to get groomed and everything. So it's all is good with her. But I wanted to kind of talk about an issue saying, go your own way. It was a good question we had from a viewer. It was talking about how you can build attraction by doing that. Now, obviously, when you do that, you're not actually purposely building attraction. It's kind of a byproduct or something that comes from the idea of that you're your own person. And I think this is something to kind of delve in. So let's talk about this a little bit. Before I do that, subscribe, like, and comment. All the comments are appreciated because I get to kind of talk about a lot of different types of issues based on questions and comments that you guys have. So it's always very good, and I really appreciate that. So when we get to this idea of going your own way. Now, what do we mean by that? I'm going to move my shift a little bit here so you can see more of me. The idea then is that you're basically not following other people. You have a very positive very positive aura, and you're really kind of focusing on what goals do I have? What purpose do I have? Now, why is this such an effective type of thing when it comes to especially female attraction, which is what the question was to me. So let's focus on this a little bit. And this also applies to male attraction if you're a female as well. And females use the same techniques, even though they're byproducts of it. It's something that just happens because of basic psychology and communications. And so let's kind of talk about this a little bit. So when you're on your journey and you're on your purpose, okay, you are focusing on trying the best you can to achieve the goals that you have set out, right? So all your focus is, you're focusing on that goal. For example, you want to make $1 million by January of 2022, okay, by this January. So now you're going to spend all your energy and time trying to think of ways to make money, to make that kind of money. Because you're doing that, you're not going to allow a lot of distractions to get in the way, especially if you're dedicated to the goal and you're focusing very strongly on it. You're not going to let other things get in the way so that you're not going to be able to accomplish your goal. This is an excellent thing because what this does is allows you to focus so much on the goal that you're really not focusing on other things. And so because of that, you have a direct laser focus on things you're trying to achieve. And so nothing else that you're going to do gets in the way. Now, why is this good when it comes to relationships with other people? Well, the idea is that other people also have their own interests at heart, for the most part. They could be very giving people, but they still are people who are interested in, obviously, survival, doing well, goals, things like that. So they're also doing those things. And so if you come along and you're the kind of person who is not like this, and you fall for somebody who looks really attractive and things like that, and men do this a lot with women, you put people on pedestals. And because you put a person on a pedestal, now you're giving your energy to them. You're basically saying, instead of focusing on, my goals and things I want to achieve, you're basically focusing on that person. You're actually putting that person so far ahead of you that you're not even bothering with any goals you want to achieve. Yes, you may go out and work, you may do certain things, but you're doing it basically all for her or him. Now, why is this necessarily a bad thing, especially in exaggeration? Well, it's a bad thing because most people, they're not comfortable with that. They may like the attention, and a lot of people do it for attention and validation. They like the attention. only to a certain degree. When you send a woman flowers every day for 3 weeks, eventually she's going to disrespect you. She's gonna lose respect in you. She's gonna kind of feel you're like a simp. You're a person who is low value, and you don't have value in yourself. This is why it's important to go your own way, because you're basically gonna focus on being valuable. You're valuable, especially as a male, because of who you are, because of the potential money you make, especially if you're younger. All those type of things you're bringing to the game, and you're basically focusing on yourself. The better version you become of yourself, obviously the more value you have. But if you're not focusing on achieving goals, you're not focusing on things from a psychological standpoint, now all that energy and things are focusing on another person, and they will feel uncomfortable. And so instead of coming close to you, being attracted to you, you're going to repel them and not even know it. This is what happens when people become desperate. When they have a desperate mindset and they have to find a wife and a husband or something like that, they're going to repel people. And they're going to continue staying single, even though they can't figure out why. But a lot of it happens because they're trying too hard. And yes, we have that mentality in society to give it all you have. But in relationships, it can be a negative, especially if your attitude is not good about yourself. See, a person with high confidence who is on your journey, you have a purpose now. Your purpose becomes stronger and becomes clearer as time goes on. And because of that, you're not going to go ahead and focus on other distractions, other things that are going to get in the way of your purpose. And so other people see that, and now they become highly intrigued. You're unique. You're not chasing me? Wow, what's wrong? And now you're the one that gets chased. And so because of the attitude that we're talking about, people will come up to you, they will chase you because they're trying to figure this out. Here's a person who is not going to act like everybody else acts. Here's a person who's not going to say, okay, you're on a pedestal, so you are so beautiful, you're so smart, all these type of things, and so I just, I just kiss the ground before you, right? Things like that. But the thing is, if you don't do that, now you're hard to get. And even though people do that type of stuff on purpose, when you're on your journey, that just happens naturally. You're not doing anything on purpose. You're basically going ahead and saying, look at my goals, I am the prize, my goals are important, and I'm going to focus on those. Now, it doesn't mean that when you're not with that person, when you're with that person, you give that person all the attention. So for instance, if you have a date with somebody, and like with my wife and I, once a week we go out on a date, I focus all my attention on her during that period of time. But she knows that I'm going to go ahead and work on my other type things when I'm not with her. And so that is, to my mind, the appropriate thing to do. Is basically when you're with the person, male or female, you're spending your time and you're giving it all you have with the person. You pay attention to them, give them the validation, all those type of things with them. I'm not talking about texting now. I'm talking about just with them. And then after you guys go, you're on your way working on your other stuff until the next time. Okay? So this to me is the way to operate. This is the way to kind of look at going your own way, because what you're doing is important. Never subjugate yourself to other people. I don't care if it's male, female, what it is. Never subjugate yourself. I mean, by subjugate is to put yourself below people. This is the worst thing you can do, because people will lose respect for you, and you're going to get the opposite results you're trying to get. And so the person who is like that doesn't understand why they're lonely. They don't understand why they're alone, and they can't deal with being alone. See, I go back to one of the videos. If you're comfortable being alone, and I am at this point, because I don't mind it at all. I like it. Then all of a sudden people they're attracted to you. And they become more attracted to you because you're unique. They don't understand why you're different. And in our society now, we really have a lack of strong males, and especially in the younger age groups. And a lot of this goes back to the relapsing and the loss of energies. And what has also created is a big problem when it comes to people who are confident enough to be leaders. And we need to have leaders that are able to say, yes, I am a person who is of high value. And yes, I have goals. I have things I want to accomplish. And I'm not going to go ahead and just kind of give everything up to kind of make you the goal, make the other person the center of the attention. Now, like I said, they'll like that. Maybe they'll even crave that. But once they get that, they don't want you anymore. And I've seen this and done some counseling over the years, and I've seen this all the time. You know, men and women get together, and you know, they they're one way when they first start dating, and all of a sudden one person falls in love so deeply that they spend so much time that they lost their whole goals and everything. And even though that's a nice thought, what ends up happening is that the person then loses respect for the other person, because that person now is focusing everything on you. And you're going to react saying, I'm not comfortable with this. It might be nice, you know, it might be flattering for a short period of time, but I'm not comfortable with it. And so after a period of time, you kind of start saying to yourself, man, I don't want this. And so you, whether it's conscious or unconscious, you move away from that person. And that's why you end up seeing a lot of people who don't understand why people reject them. A lot of times because they're acting what I call needy. They need relationships. I've talked to many people. They have the girlfriend of the club, a girlfriend of the week club, or a boyfriend of the club. You know, they need to have a boyfriend, girlfriend. And you don't need that. In fact, I think I'll probably do a video on that. You don't need to have somebody, in my opinion. Now, this is my opinion here. You don't need to have somebody. You need to be able to be alone first, and then you'll get all the people you want, because you're not a needy person. Needy people are people who are those beta males that, you know, struggle because they can't go on a journey, they can't retain, and they can't really have that level of confidence because they're worried about not having somebody. Because when you're worried about it, this is what ends up manifesting. And manifestation is an important key word. Whatever you think about, you're manifesting. So if you think about being lonely, you're going to be lonely. But on the other hand, if you think about having goals and being able to achieve those goals, then the byproduct that people understand, and they look at you and say, man, you are really unique. How do I get to know you? How do I see you? How am I have some of that rub off on me? And that's kind of what we're talking about here. So in a long sense, what you really want to do is you want to go your own way, and that will create people coming your way. So as you go on your way, others will come your way. And that's the whole key. Until next time, battle on, warriors, battle on.